Okay, so first off, I have some things to talk about regarding your take on the book. I agree with you in that it was a solid book, but it didn't really leave you thinking or wanting more in the end. It did its purpose, and that's all there was to it. And on that note, I think Poirot did have some emotional involvement. I mean, he did let them, all the people off in the end, just in compassion for what the case was, what the case had meant to them. But I do see what you're saying, too, in that Poirot was kind of just a placeholder. Like the book was real, she couldn't just give you, the audience, the reader, facts and the conclusion at the end. She had to give it some kind of story, and to have some kind of story, she needs some kind of hero. And that's the role that Poirot fulfills. I'm not saying it's a solid case of character development or anything, but it works for her, I guess. I mean, she's still around, so that has to say something. Having too many people in on it and all that careful preparation, I guess harkens to the realism factor again, because if you're going to have X many people in on something, then you're going to have to cover your tracks damn well. And really, if they'd planned to do it on a train, I mean, why not have all those people in on it? Having all of them as witnesses to cover up who did it. It's like any of those magician shows where the magicians plant their own helpers into the audience. It's just rigging the deck in their favor. And if it weren't such a strange twist that everybody was in on it, then we wouldn't really want to read it either. I mean, readers want to read stuff that doesn't happen all the time. I was talking to a guy in the library, and he's like, yeah, I mean, I love horror. I love the twists at the end, and whenever they make you just think at the end. And he's like, they just don't do any of that stuff anymore. It's so rare to find a good twist like that. And then to find a good twist that's not all just a blood and guts slasher film, too. And otherwise, we're using my Pirate Week people. And today is Anne Bonney. She had a rich dad, but Anne ended up marrying a poor sailor, and so was disowned and kicked out of the house. Probably not in that order. Then she fell in love, fickle, with a pirate Captain Rackham, and they sailed the seas together. She dressed up in men's clothing and all that. At one point, she got pregnant, and Rackham just left her on land, but he did pick her back up, which I think is not something you usually read about. Usually they just get abandoned and that's that. But he picked her back up. So that was good. Yeah, when she was unpregnant. Yes. The king convinced the pirates to work for him after that while as privateers, and Rackham and, Anne Bonney joined in for a while, but they kind of got bored and ended up going back to pirating. When the ship was captured in the end, Anne and some chick named Mary Read, who you will learn about at some other point, were the only ones left. Like, there was Rackham, Mary, and Anne. Because everybody else had, jumped ship and just abandoned them. These guys died. So it was down to the three of them. Rackham was executed. I'll tell you about Mary later. And Anne was thrown in jail because she was preggers again. And I'm not sure what happened after that, but yeah. That's my story. As far as my itchy bug bite thing goes, I don't know if it's itchy or not, because I've just kind of been keeping it lathered in calamine lotion. Because it's just not... It drove me crazy yesterday, too. So last night when I got home, I was like, okay, you know what? I am done with this. And that's how it's been ever since. I'm going to be showering after this, so I'll see how it goes, how it's gone. See if it's still itchy or not. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Cheers!